Alright wall fans, alright common sensors, and alright podcast consumers. Welcome to another Mental Health Mondays for June 1st, 2020. Now I'm sure before you even clicked on this, you knew what we were going to talk a little bit about. I don't want to get in-depth on it. If you want to get in-depth, my in-depth thoughts on what's happening in our country right now, what's happening around the world, the civil unrest, the protests, please go listen to the most recent episode of Common Sense Sundays. I will take a moment to tell you, when it pertains to mental health, it is important what is happening right now. These are things that have to happen. We live in a country, especially our country, but around the world, but especially here in the United States, where we see these things happen. These things have been happening since I was a kid. George Floyd lost his life because of systematic racism. There's no other way to look at it. It was wrong. And there's no other way to think of that. If you think it's right, you need to definitely have some introspection and wonder why you're thinking that that's okay. Because it's not. It never is. And unfortunately, it continues to happen. And that's why we're in the state of unrest right now. We're in a state of emergency because people need to make their voices heard. They need to. They need to take to the streets because without people taking to the streets the way they are now, nothing will change. Nothing. I've seen it my entire life. It never changes. I lived in Southern California in 1992. Not in Los Angeles, but in Southern California. Saw a lot of what was happening here. Firsthand. And it hasn't gotten any better. Maybe slightly better, fractionally better, but it hasn't. So it's important for everyone to make their voices heard. Take to the streets. No justice, no peace. But at the same time, when it comes to your mental health, you also need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your family. So be informed. Watch the news. Make sure you're aware of what's going on, especially in your local community. It's going crazy here in Los Angeles. Not right next to my house, but in Los Angeles. It's nuts. We're under a curfew. You have to be in your house at 8 p.m. So be informed. But at the same time, take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Don't work yourself to a point where you are so full of depression and anxiety that you can no longer function. Put the phone down. Turn off the TV. Just for a little while. Go listen to some music. Watch a funny cartoon. Whatever it might be. And recenter yourself. Take care of yourself. Because as important as it is to be informed and know what's going on in the world and in our country, especially right now, you don't want it to get to the point where it is affecting your mental health. Take a break from it. I've had to do that myself. I've got the TV on constantly, news coverage of things happening around the world, but especially here in Los Angeles where it's crazy. But I have to tell myself, turn it off for a minute. Don't look at Twitter for a few minutes. Take a break. Take care of yourself. That is always immensely important. But right now, it is extra important because you cannot affect change if you're not first taking care of yourself. So do that. And also, with today being June 1st, 2020, we have officially ended Mental Health Awareness Month, which is May every year. We've officially ended that this year. But keep in mind, for those of you watching this, mental health awareness doesn't end in May for many of us. It is a 12-month thing for those of us that deal with a debilitating mental illness. So while it's great to actively promote and do as much as you can in May every year, remember, you can still work to end the stigma throughout the other 11 months of the year. And that's important to keep in mind. So right now, as we embark on uncertainty and craziness in our country and in our world, take care of yourselves. Be safe. But be heard, because that is also important. I'm Sean O'Rourke, and this has been Mental Health Mondays for June 1st, 2020.